Hello, my colleagues and friends. I'm Caroline Jones, and I'm Zooming at you from Cambridge, Massachusetts. I'm sorry that none of us can be together. I want to offer 3 thoughts regarding the Biennale in pandemical times. The first thought is that Venice is no stranger to plague, and Venice's architecture was precisely constructed to be both occupiable during plague, freshened by the airs and waters that constantly circulated around it, but also abandonable during plague, when you could go to the country, the Veneto, when you could go to your Palladian villa and escape the contagions of the city. In that spirit, I think that we can think together about how distance can be bridged by communications. I'm not a medievalist, but I imagine that even during plague, there were pigeons carrying messages. There were horses and couriers willing to risk things to bring messages from the countryside to the city, to the maritime empire. And so we have our social prostheses. We have our digital prostheses to be present and to think together. Behind me is the wonderful image from the Scatole Nero of the founding documents of the Biennale Artistici. I don't speak Italian, so forgive me. But these should inspire us with what that then provincial metropole was hoping to achieve, a theater of the world in which all voices could be represented. Now, of course, at the beginning, all voices were simply European countries. That was what international meant. Now the pressures are upon us to actually think of how voices of our planet, voices of the world, voices of every nation, every animal, every creature, every non-human entity could be represented in this Teatrum Mundi. So this is my second point. During the lockdown, I've had a very privileged and enlightening conversation with fellow curators and thinkers of how we can contribute to the now much postponed Architectural Biennale, a kind of imaginary pavilion in celebration of the United Nations 75th anniversary, but a pavilion that would change the remit of that 20th century dream to include 21st century urgencies, namely the question of the more than human, the question of the planetary, the question of the Anthropocene. So we are thinking quite tenderly about the Teatrum Mundi of the Biennale as exactly the place in which more than human entities need to petition for standing. May we represent the needs of the vegetal, the needs of plants, and of phytoplankton in the ocean to produce oxygen undisturbed by our pollution, by our petroleum distillates that create toxic chemotropic environments? Can Venice continue to be part of a conversation that now urgently needs to be planetary and global? Because the virus unites us all. With those words and that challenge, I leave you to your discussion, and I hope you can all stay safe and stay thinking and stay social on our prosthetic platforms. Thank you.